first time, so please be patient with me as I get this all figured out, or try and figure it out as I go along. I decided to do this as a live on YouTube and then share the link on my Facebook page because as you know, Facebook is deleting live streams after 30 days, and I wanted you to be able to get to this after 30 days. And at this rate, it might take me 30 days to get it posted. But it does look like I'm in the right spot and going in the right direction. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on here. And the card I'm sharing with you is actually a card that I did for my team meeting this month, and it features this brand new bundle that's called the Springtime Scenes, and this is available in our new March online exclusives, which is a pre-order for demonstrators at this time. But they have, I love this kind of realistic ladybug over here, and some great sayings, some leaves. I love the nature scenes. So, but this is the particular die that caught my eye, and then I knew, okay, that's got to go on my pre-order. And it's this one. It has like a circle with these leaves on it, and it is so amazing. I hope that you're gonna enjoy watching it in action today. And we're gonna go ahead and just like jump right in. So all of the materials have kind of been prepped for you at our team meetings. We always do make intakes, just so that we can stamp together. We have like a wonderful little community, and I love it when we can get together and stamp and have some fun. We do talk a little bit of business, but mostly it's stamping. We have some great presenters all the time. So this is a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 thick white cardstock, and we don't sell that anymore, but I did kind of stack up a little bit. So that's going to be our base, and I am going to take this piece of designer series paper, and it is going to go on the outside of my card, and it's going to go like on the front as a different layer, so you can see how kind of bright it is. And I wanted just a little bit to tone it down, so I did add a little bit of blending right around the edges. Now, if you're not accustomed to blending, or you like this bright, you're maybe a beginner stamper who doesn't know about blending yet, or you just really like this bright look, you can leave it just like this. If you want to add a little color though, we can use your blending brush. And I use my blending brush in this circular motion with my index finger right on the top of it. And I am just putting it on my scrap paper to get some of that color off. And then I'm just going to continue from my scrap paper onto my cards, or my DSP. And I'm just going to keep going in that really light, same circular kind of motion. And I'm going to go very light with this one, so it's not quite as dark as my sample. And you can always, I start off light because you can always go darker, but you cannot go lighter once you've made it dark. And I'm just going to kind of pick up some of the ink from my scrap paper. I was going to use just my glass mat, but it makes a really big glare. So I'm just going to use my scrap paper and kind of pick up my ink from there. If you were using your glass mat, it would stay moist on there, so you could use it like that. Just going to kind of add just a little bit more, and you can see how it has lightened it up around those edges. I keep trying to watch and make sure that there's no comments, but you see how it's going along here. So you can see how it's kind of lighter around the edges, and this one is much darker. You can see there. So this one will give us a whole different kind of look to it. And then I have this little piece of paper here, and this is just regular vanilla. And I'm going to use this saying, "Celebrate New Beginnings," which is also in the stamp set. And for those of you that are new, our stamps are clear photopolymer, so you can see right where you're going to place it. Make sure you have good ink coverage, all of that good stuff, because it is see-through. Okay. And then we're going to do some die cutting. So we'll move these pieces out, and I just have my little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here that we're going to use. And this one is like so handy because it folds up. Our big one folds up too, but this one is just so much smaller. So in this one, I'm going to get some new plate. We're going to stagger your plates as you put them together on there, and they run through the machine better if they're staggered. So we're going to start off with our banner die from Stylish Shapes. That is one of the stamp sets that or die sets that I use the most. It has this beautiful stitching around it. So I'm going to take some of the first I'll take the vellum. I'm going to take my vellum piece of paper and then put my die right on top of it. And this is my circle from the Stylish Shapes also. And then my Celebrate New Beginnings. I'm going to put those right onto the machine. And I am going to chicken out, and I'm going to go ahead and use some Post-it tape to hold these in place, because I want my words to be right in the center of that die cut. I think that will do it. And I'm going to do the same with my vellum, just because it's kind of a tight fit for it, and I don't want it to go off the edges there. And then I'm just going to put my top number 2 plate over it. And I always put my hand up here so that I get a little extra stability. That's just kind of going all over here. There we go. Took it a minute to get started. Okay, and then you can see I have that really nice kind of little dotted edge on there. And then again around my little banner piece, which I think is so pretty. So, there we go. Put my trash over there. And then I'm going to put this piece of Designer Series paper on here. And I am going to die cut it with this die. So the same thing, I'm going to put my paper on. I'm going to add a little Post-it note just to keep it on there tight. I'm going to stagger these. And through we're going to go. Tomorrow I'm going to try and demonstrate the new Stampin' Positioner. It's a freebie for anyone who joins our team. We have an amazing team that you guys, if you've watched my lives, you know I love my team. We have our own little Facebook group. We get together in person, we get together virtually. We have a very active Facebook group that where we do challenges, and we're just kind of there to support each other. So you get a $125 in your kit. It's product you get to pick out, and you also will receive a free Stampin' Cut and Emboss, or Stampin' Positioner, which is our brand new tool. And I was able to pre-order one. So I did a little presentation with it at our team meeting, and I'm going to share it with you guys so you know what kind of valuable tool you're going to be getting when you join our team, in addition to all of the other wonderful demonstrator benefits. Okay, I'm just kind of pushing out some pieces in here. Sometimes, you know, you get one of those fancy die cuts and you gotta push some of the pieces out of it. So that's all I'm doing, is pushing those pieces out. And I'm gonna put it right on top of my vellum piece. We have the most amazing vellum, and it feels a little bit like cardstock. It's kind of like a cross between our DSP thickness and our cardstock thickness. I'm going to grab my little mat here. This is a trick that one of my downline taught us when we were at a retreat last weekend, and she said that when you're putting gluing on a piece of vellum so that you can't see it, you just put a little dab of Tombow adhesive glue around the outside edges of it. And actually, I think that's the piece that we'll put down first. So I'm just going to turn my vellum upside down, and I'm just going to rub a little bit of that green glue all the way around the edge. It's going to be sticky when you're putting it on too, so that'll be all right. We just don't want our adhesive to show through on our vellum. And I was a little bit skeptical at first, but I tried it and it works. And I did just put it around the outside edge there. And then I'm going to add a little bit more, and I'm going to put my DSP on. And I'm going to put it right on my DSP in the same fashion. In fact, I'm going to put my piece right on my mat so that it doesn't get all that sticky all over my scrap paper. It'll get all that sticky all over my mat. And then you just wash these mats up. That's the beauty of them. They clean right up without getting all sticky like your cardstock and scrap paper does. I hate when my scrap paper gets sticky and then whatever I put on it sticks to it. Okay, there we go. So I was able to get both layers on there without getting, so you could see it. In fact, let me see if I can get a little bit close for you without getting blurry. So you can see, you don't have that adhesive that you can see through that vellum. Okay, then I'm going to take a piece of this irregular weave ribbon. I'm going to cut my little 12 inches, which is probably going to be a little bit big for this, but I'm going to go shorter. I'm just going to cut it in half, and you can use this whole thing if you wanted to, this width, but I'm just going to cut mine in half. I just want a little bit to show back there, and I want it to kind of give it that natural nature sort of look that my DSP has. And this is really, really stiff, so I am going to bend it when I'm done. There we go. So I cut it in half, long way, and then I'm just going to put it on top of my scissors, put my thumb on it, and pull it through, and then do the same in the opposite direction. Okay? And I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of my sentiment. Ooh, this one looks like it's running out. Your adhesive is going to work best if you hold it straight up and give it a little flick. And I'm just going to kind of do this in like a bow kind of shape behind here. And I did get plenty of ribbon there. And I'm just going to make sure it's stuck right into the adhesive good. It's almost like a bow or a figure 8. We always learned a figure 8 when we were ice skating growing up, so that's kind of how I relate to it. And then we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of it. Oh, I put them just out of reach over there. And I'm going to butt my dimensionals right up to it. And you can use your regular size dimensionals if you want. I just happen to have these mini ones here, so they're the ones I'm going to use for this. Here we go. Put some on the ends. I hope you guys are all managing to stay warm. It seems to be like freezing everywhere. I actually saw some sunshine today, which was really, really nice, but kind of gave you the illusion that it would be nice outside, and it really, really wasn't. So, so it was very chilly when you got out there. I'm just going to put one more on here for, so like, what the heck, right? Okay, so that's, I'm actually going to put this on my card before I get too far along here. And be sure my adhesive is standing up. I'm going to go all the way around. You can do just your corners if you want to. I normally only go all the way around if I have embossed it. But I'm going to go all the way around with this one. There we go. And it's important when you've embossed it to go all the way around because you want to get your adhesive in all of those little nooks and crannies. This one I'll just do my corners and in the middle like that. And then that's going to go right on the front of our card. I want to be sure I'm getting it nice and straight on there. There we go. And then we'll put our sentiment on there. I am so ready for spring, and this card just reminds me of spring. In fact, as a perk for being a demonstrator, so you can put last chance list items in your cart, and you can also put pre-order items in your starter kit. So lots of options for your $125 for $95, and it ships for free, which is always a big benefit. There we go. I'm going to trim these up. So if you have some questions about it, I'll leave my link up below. Let me grab, I love these little butterflies. I think they are like just perfect as an accent. And I'm going to plop them right on my vellum. I'm going to use one big one. Oh, I'm going to put my big one right in the middle there. Turn it that way. I'm going to put a little tiny one up here. Have it go the opposite direction. And then I'm going to do another little one over here. Perfect. And then I'm going to use some of these. These are blooming pearls, and they have kind of that iridescent shine to them. I love accessories. I might love accessories more than I like ribbon, but I do like ribbon a lot. I might just have some issues. So I'm going to kind of sprinkle these up in here. I cut a couple off that were going to be used for a class. didn't get used for a class, so I'm going to use those. And then I'm going to take a bigger one. These come in 3 sizes, so there's like a really big one, a medium one, and then a small one. But I'm going to take a really big one and kind of put it over here and just tuck it under my banner just a little bit. So I've used the big one, the medium one, and the small one. Okay, so there you can see just a little bit of difference, the lighter or the darker blending brush on there. So thanks for tuning in with me, you guys, and being patient while I get this figured out. And I'm hoping that with each live that I do every week, they get a little bit better. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's see.